Hey folks, this is GreenHillZone from evlgaming, and I'm going to show you some automated farming today using planters, harvesters, and fertilizers. And I just kind of put this one together quickly, and it's kind of a mess because there's all kinds of different things going on in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. I've put in the planter as well as some conductive piping. Everything needs to be powered: the harvester, the fertilizer, and the planter. So let's start with the size. I've been building 13 by 13 plots here, and the reasoning for that is just because of the size. I didn't want it to be too ridiculously huge. The planters or the planters and harvesters take a little bit of time to figure out when things are finished and so on. So I could have had this whole thing one giant plot, maybe with 5 or 10 planters, harvesters, fertilizers. But that does not produce plants as quickly as I need them to turn them into biofuel. And the biofuel generation occurs down here at this tower once it loads. Inside the tower you can see that little purple thing in there. That's the biofuel tank, and that gets pumped over to the filling station over there. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But essentially, any item that gets collected goes down into this pipe, and you can see there's some fertilizer coming up, the brown things that look like some nice poop, because that's what it is. And then there's potatoes and carrots going down underground and then into this tower where it gets turned into biofuel, but I'll talk about that a little later. And I know some of you probably aren't too happy that I'm in creative mode, but just for the sake of keeping this video prompt, I want to do it that way. So the first thing you need is the planter, and recipes change sometimes, so I'm not going to bother with any recipes in this video. But there's a few things I need to point out. There's the idle, there's the work, and there's the energy. And idle is kind of, and you can see it kind of stopped there because the server had a little bit of a hiccup. Idle is just how often it's checking to see if anything needs to be done. Work will start to fill up when there are empty spaces up there and there is material in the planter to be planted. And then I haven't really messed with the filter a whole lot because I don't really care which side of my field potatoes or carrots or whatever are planted, because right now, as you can see, everything has one thing. These are all potatoes, and then the more green ones down there are carrots. So you can mix and match them. You could do potatoes and carrots all over the place, and the harvesters won't care. Once the crop is ready, it'll plant it. And I have my power source coming from way down there. There's a phased conductive pipe at the end of this, so I've just ran my conductive pipe over here to power everything. And you can see that it's powered because this red energy bar says there's 800 Minecraft joules in here. So I'll go ahead and fill up the planter with some potatoes, and you'll see now the power is really coming in. And we've almost got a full stack down. And there's going to be a little bit of a delay as it goes down, but that's okay. It's just the way it works. So right in the center of your field, one block down, so you can have water there, is your planter, and on top of the planter is the water. And the water gets spread out. You can see it better over here. It doesn't quite reach the edge. You could break some holes and put some water down, but if you're using a fertilizer, which is this flashy thing over here, then water doesn't really matter a whole lot, because fertilizer is similar to bone meal. It'll make everything grow almost instantly. So I'll put my fertilizer down. I've got my conductive pipe right there. It's filling up with power. And I'll drop in a little bit of fertilizer. You'll see it go to work. Oop. I I have this facing the wrong way. As you can see, the direction is very important. Now it should start to use the fertilizer in just a minute. It's gonna take its sweet time. Oh, that's right. Duh, I forgot to talk about upgrades. This one's got the upgrade. It's this little slot down here. And what the upgrade does is it increases the radius of how far your planter or your harvester will work for. And I'll look here. As you can see, we've got lapis all the way up to emerald, and bronze is right about here. So I could have a huge, ginormous farm, but because it doesn't output too quickly, I don't. So once I throw the upgrade in there, whoop, not into the fertilizer bin, into there, it'll start throwing that down. Yeah, there it goes. As you can see, only a couple of potatoes are ready to be harvested out of that bunch. So having fertilizer doesn't guarantee you're going to get harvest out of it. It just helps you go a little faster. So it's not, I don't know how well bone meal works these days either, but it is definitely not instantaneous. I need some white stone real quick, just so I can throw that down on top. So I'll throw down the harvester. And again, if you need to know what the crafting recipe is for this, look it up on the wiki. I'll see if I can link that into the description, because these things change all the time. The last thing, so I'll explain what's going on here. The conductive pipe hooked into there and is powering it. We see we have our idle and our work as last time. And I'm not going to put the upgrade in just yet because I want to make sure this is all hooked up properly. And from the last time I used this farm, there's a whole bunch of crap in here, so I'm going to delete that so it can all fall down and decompose in the sand. So we have a blank chest. So these are golden transport pipes going down this way. That's going to take any item harvested and throw it into this box. And on the rest of the system, everything is going through these logistic pipes, these black and green ones. And I'm going to talk about that a little later, just because it's kind of outside the depth of this video. So for now, I've got just the harvester going down to this box. If I didn't have a chest down here with a pipe, everything would just kind of shoot out, and that's no bueno. So let me grab my upgrade. And ooh, the last thing, and this black hole right here kind of reminds me that I need to put down. Oh, it's already harvesting some stuff. Now, when you harvest something, you create toxic waste called sludge. And if you find sludge and you jump into it, you kind of go on a psychedelic trip, but you also get killed. So it's kind of cool until you die. Unless you're in creative mode, then it's just kind of fun. So I'll throw the upgrade in there. You can see my potatoes going down into the box. And I've already got a whole stack, and it only broke just a couple of them. So potatoes are great because for every time you break one, for every one planted, you get pretty high yield out of it. And any sludge that's being created is going into this tank. What you typically would have is either a second pipe network going down this way, where you would dispose of your sludge, but we're using these phased pipes here, going to frequency 10. And frequency 10 goes up to the tower. You can kind of see it in the shadows there. Right on top of that tower is Sludge Boilers, and it boils the sludge into the atmosphere. And it probably isn't very good for the environment, but I've got a giant farm here, so that'll offset that, right? Hopefully, yeah. So this is our farm here, and it's not planting anymore. Probably because the planter is, yep, the planter is out of potatoes. But I have a whole stack here. So you could either use a diamond pipe to send a third of your potatoes this way to the planter, and 2/3 down here to your chest, and then you could take them out of the chest and put them into your bioreactor to create biofuel. Or you could, use it for whatever other purposes you might want to use the potatoes for. But in my next video, I'm going to show a more efficient way of sorting items by using logistic pipes as well as applied energistics. Thanks for watching.